Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the HTL Champ Car Light Series season. Race 3 of 12 takes place here at Gateway Motorsports Park, Madison, Illinois, playing host once again to HTL action, something we didn't think we'd see after the last time HTL visited Gateway back for the HTL Cup Series in Season 3. But here we are, a fantastic open wheel racing venue, 1.25 mile a lap length around Gateway Motorsports Park, known for sponsorship purposes as Worldwide Technology Raceway. It is the gateway to the Mississippi and everything beyond it, just in the shadows of St. Louis, Missouri. We sit here tonight, qualifying currently ongoing. This is going to be a very, very interesting race. 100 laps on tap for tonight's event. For everyone tuning in tonight, we appreciate tuning in here on ABN Studios. I'm Carmen, Sienna, here to bring the action from flag to flag here tonight. Again, qualifying underway. Everyone has 4 laps to set the best possible time that they can. And right now you're looking at one of the drivers that is currently leading the way, Garnet Adams, doing a fantastic job here in qualifying. Fastest lap speed at the moment, 167.64 miles an hour, just now demoted as drivers entering their 3rd laps here in qualifying. Riley Dunn, Josh Susie, Eli Sasek on the board. Garnet Adams going second fastest there. Riley Dunn showing some pace. Keep an eye on the 81 though. Josh Susie looks like he's going to bring some pace on his 3rd lap as well. It's a run for pole position. Sasek goes top of the board on his 3rd lap. He's got 1 lap left. Susie on his final lap now goes top of the board provisionally, but it's by milliseconds here in qualifying, and time is running short. Susie on provisional pole. Can he seal the deal on lap 4? Eli Sasek has a chance to set the bar higher. Can he do so? No. Not by much. Susie has to break the tiebreaker, and he gets it. 300ths. The gap between Susie and Sasek at the front of the field. Nick Wheeler, his first start of the season. He goes 3rd fastest. He's got 1 lap to go. Did he just throw it away in turn 1 and 2? Huge questions to be answered. Out of 4. This is his last lap. Last chance for pole. He's on row 2 at the moment. Did he improve enough? No, he did not. Demonte Dotson just now on a qualifying lap. And it will tick away 15 cars here. Kyler McCarthy and Blake Henderson will not take part in qualifying here this evening. What about Demonte Dotson? Where will the 47 Spirit Airlines machine end up as the time ticks away? First lap on the board for Dotson. He'll go 11th. Lap 3 seemed to be the sweet lap. He's going to get to it. Down the back straightaway. Very, very rapid lap times here at Gateway. You're looking at 26.6 seconds. And again, less than a tenth separates the first 4 rows on the grid. Dotson, 2nd lap, not an improvement. Had to let off a lot in turn 2. This is not a flat-out track. Despite how intriguing it could be in turns 1 and 2, you do have to lift a little bit. And as a result, he will not have a chance to improve on his time, running way too late on the board there. So it will be Josh Susie who starts on pole position here this evening. going into this race, very interesting in the points. Garnet Adams leads, having won at Michigan, while Susie retired from that race. Obviously 1-2 for the duo. Susie winning at Charlotte last week. Adams finishing in second. Bobby Blower sitting in third, not present for this race. That's not a huge ordeal. There's 2 drop rounds this season. So you have basically 2 misses if you need to use them. Chad Swatsworth present tonight. He's going to look to leapfrog into the top 3 in points if he can. That is the magical question here tonight. DeMonte Dodson, we saw him qualify. He's going to start 11th here. David Wright, Evan Eisenman, David Smeal Jr., Blake Henderson, Byron Jones, Nick Pressey, and Riley Dunn, your top 12 here on the grid. Your starting grid's going to be very interesting with Susie and Sasek at the front of the field. Looking further down the order in row 2, it's Nick Wheeler to the inside of row 2 alongside Nick Pressey, eMotorsports, or Riley Dunn. Row 3, Byron Jones and David Smeal Jr. occupy that row, inside and outside the top 6 all together, all things said and done. David Wright and Garnet Adams in row 4. Your points leader will start this race from the 8th spot. Chad Swatsworth and Jimmy Brault will be in row number 5. For Brault, this is his first race of the season, having missed Michigan and Charlotte. Row 6 is where you'll find Dotson and Noah Hunt. We saw DeMonte Dotson, his qualifying effort. Noah Hunt debuted a week ago. He debuted in Charlotte. Going for race number 2 here is the 45 car. Evan Eisenman and Kyler McCarthy sit in row number 7. McCarthy did not qualify. Eisenman did. Blake Henderson not taking to the racetrack quite so quickly, but he will be in row 8 when he does take to the racetrack here this evening. The lights getting ready to go here in Gateway. In the shadow of St. Louis, in the Gateway Arch, we race once again at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Susie Sasek, front of the field. 14 cars take the green flag. Green flag in the air. It's go time. We're racing in Gateway. Orderly procession to start off this race. Everyone getting through the first lap easily. First lap at speed will be lap 2, and that's where the struggles of turn 1 and 2 typically rear their head. Dotson on the bottom, trying to make up some ground alongside the 45 of Noah Hunt. Everything looks tidy on the opening lap. Fantastic stuff so far in the early going. Sasek sitting in the 2nd spot, trying to chase down Josh Susie for the front of the field. A lot of the interest going to be further behind here. You look at Swatsworth alongside the 42 of David Wright. Just ahead of them is the 22 of Adams and the 27 of David Smeal Jr. Smeal with a little bit of a bobble on the inside of turns 1 and 2. The curbs here are lethal in these cars, both in the IR18 used in the Champ Car World Series and in the IR05 used here tonight. We'll see the Champ Car World Series take on this racetrack in 2 weeks. Next week, they go to Atlanta. So we're going to get a healthy dose here of Gateway Motorsports Park on ABN Studios. Single file as everyone sort of makes their way through. Jeremy Brault up into the top 10, battling with David Wright. A couple of long-running ARCS drivers. Brault, a former A-Squared Cup Series champion. David Wright, an A-Squared Cup Series race winner. As they go through turns 1 and 2 there. Swatsworth and Smeal duking it out there at the front of the field. Lap 5 coming to be completed of 100 here in Gateway. and you get your firm feeling of where everyone's at so far in the early goings, there will be a pit stop in this race in some way, shape, or form, whether it's under caution or under green. A lot of drivers practicing for green flag pit stops. Very optimistic for this race. As you see, David Smeal Jr. currently sitting in that 7th spot behind the 00 of Byron Jones. Garnet Adams closing in top 5 at the moment behind Nick Wheeler, trying to battle with that number 20 machine, who's going to let it happen pretty easily. But you see the battling that's gone on here has allowed Riley Dunn and everyone at the front of the field to sort of separate here. Sasek right to the tail of Susie. It's 81 and the 9 battling. Actually aspirated V8s roaring pretty loudly here in Gateway. You see the battling raging on still. Byron Jones trying to keep it nice and tight at the bottom of turns 3 and 4. David around the outside lane having the run and the draft support from Braille as they work down the outside lane of turns 1 and 2. This is where the outside lane is usually a little bit stronger, especially on the exit here, and that's what you're seeing from Jeremy Braille. Byron Jones now sort of stuck in a never-ending loop, it feels like, for the 00. Braille got clear. Swatsworth going to try to do the same with Dotson now in tow. Braille just set the fastest second half of that lap, having the slipstream and that ability to go full throttle through 3 and 4. Doing an outstanding job right now. David Wright, the fastest lap of the race. Doing a great job so far. Josh Susie still leads the way at the front of the field, but it has been a phenomenal opening 10 laps. Coming to lap 11 here. Again, outstanding so far, start to finish. In these first 10 laps now in the books. Adams now firmly in the 4th spot. Looking very confident on the ovals here in the RO5s in the Champ Car Light Series. Adams very proficient in the Hyper Formula Championship on Saturdays. But up until this series had not raced an oval in ABN or HTL competition. Obviously won on debut 2 weeks ago in Michigan. Holding on to the points lead by a thin 6-point margin. Susie leading laps here, has led every lap so far. But now firmly a 4-car fight here. We're right on board with the 22. Garnet Adams. And caution, it looks like, has come out here for the first time. And it is for the 27 of David Smeal Jr. And it looks like a couple others. Nick Wheeler spun around. And he's probably going to need a tow here. So will David Smeal Jr. They've got fast repairs, but there's a lot of damage on those cars. Right, so we went to go on board. Caution comes out for the first time tonight. Looks like Evan Eisenman's got some damage as well. So what has happened here? To kick everything off, let's take a look. This is looking center of shot. Oh, send up the racetrack there by David Wright. Oh, and just a spin on his own by Nick Wheeler. Several cars involved in that, almost half the field involved in that in some way, shape, or form. But that kind of falls on Nick Wheeler, the 20 car. And the drivers were warned that the apron, not the apron, the curbing, separating the apron from the racetrack, was a very slippery surface. Does Wheeler clip it a little bit here? It looks like he absolutely does. He hits it hard on the exit of turns 3 and 4, and that pulls him right around. Nowhere for David Smeal Jr. to go. He goes for a climb. Braille gets run over there by the 74 of Braille. So Braille gets a piece of that as well. Nowhere really for, I believe that's the 24 McCarthy. That is 24 McCarthy, as well as Eisenman and the 00 of Byron Jones and the 45 of Noah Hunt. So huge contacts there for all of them. Nick Wheeler's day in a lot of trouble here. Byron Jones, thankfully he was able to get some repairs done. Fast repair in use there for the 00 car. Looks like Eisenman should be able to have a fast repair there for the 44. So he should be able to stay on the lead lap. In fact, he will. McCarthy coming down pit lane once again. Looks like the top off with fuel. He's already been down pit lane once. Smeal and Wheeler obviously still in their boxes at the moment. Looks like Smeal will start rolling now, as will the 20 of Wheeler. So we're still going to have all 14 cars that took the start of this race. They're going to try again. We are not far away from going back green here. Josh Susie controlling the field on this restart here. So here we go. Almost showtime once more. It is Susie, Sasek once again. As they started this race initially, they will restart the race here on lap 16. Then it's Adams and Braille, the two biggest gainers here in this race. Then it's Swatsworth, Dunn, Dotson, and Hunt. Through the restart zone, and away we go. Green flag back in the air, and Susie with an amazing jump there on Sasek. They roll through turns 1 and 2 once again. You look further back, you see the scramble further behind. And it's Jones, David Wright, and Noah Hunt. Car coming down pit lane, Riley Dunn. Not sure if Dunn got a penalty for passing under yellow or making an illegal pass coming to the restart. He is driving through pit lane here at the moment. Oh, Susie with a spin. Susie slides. Caution comes out. That saves Riley Dunn from having an even worse night. He did have to make a stop and go, so he will lose a lap. But he would have been set to lose 2 with how that penalty was looking. Instead, he loses 1. And Susie, to his credit, a really good save, keeping that car out of the wall and out of harm's way. I believe that will give David Smeal Jr. the free pass, since he was on the racetrack and not serving a penalty at the time of the caution. So we'll have to double check and see here. That would put him 1 lap down. He went 2 laps down under the first caution after having to be towed back to pit lane. Same with Nick Wheeler. And indeed, it looks like he will have the free pass. As it looks to the outside of all the cars. And they are going to move to the inside lane to let the 27 go by. Free pass for David Smeal Jr. So this race in 6th, down in 13th, 1 lap down. Now has to deal with Riley Dunn for that free pass spot next go around. Josh Susie comes down pit lane, gets a fresh set of tires after his spin. He'll restart this race from the 11th spot. Eli Sasek now leads the way. 2 quick cautions in succession here at Gateway. One, a pretty serious crash that involved almost half the field. They used their fast repair. And then the second caution, a solo spin. Josh Susie doing the same thing Nick Wheeler did to cause the first caution. Again, hitting the curbs way too aggressively here. And Susie, one of HTL's best veterans from the Cup Series side of things. A rare unforced error for the 81 car here tonight. and that does make things a little bit topsy-turvy. Can you look at the standings going into this race? They were spicy as it was already. For those that didn't tune in immediately at the start of this race, this is what we're looking at entering tonight. Garnet Adams leading by 6 points. Blowers missing this race will lose a significant chunk. Chad Swatsworth in the mix. DeMonte Dotson in the mix as well. Same with David Wright, Evan Eisenman, David Smith Jr., Byron Jones, Nick Pressey, and Riley Dunn, all in that top 12. Pressey not present tonight. Riley Dunn is. Same with Byron Jones. And that's just the top 12. You look at Kyler McCarthy. He's looking to make some inroads there. Same with Eli Sasek. Noah Hunt made his debut last week. Nick Wheeler making his debut tonight. Same with Jeremy Braille. So it is still very important to try to get it right. How quickly we had a caution come back out, I would not be surprised if it is a single file restart this go round. So I do not believe we got a full lap. The lights should go off on the pace car. And everyone is going to double up here. Again, lights are out on the pace car. So a go green to start lap number 22. We are already a fifth of the way through this race. Fastest lap currently belongs to Jeremy Braille, 26.73. He is going to be starting this race from row 2. It's Sasek, Adams, Swatsworth, Braille, Dotson, Jones, Eisenman, Hunt, Wright, and Susie, your top 10. McCarthy 11th. Dunn a lap down, Smeal a lap down, as well as Nick Wheeler down 2 laps. 14 cars started, 14 cars still running. Here in Gateway, coming on to the second restart of the race. Sasek a different approach as the race leader this time. And he's going to get it started once again. Good launch by the 9. Swatsworth in the mix immediately. Trying to go for that second spot against Garnet Adams. Struggled there to stay on the inside lane, and now under threat from Braille. And then you see the discrepancy between those at the front and those struggling further behind. That's Eisenman getting around David Wright. Front of the field, single file, first 5 cars. Here comes the 22 of Adams to the inside of turns 1 and 2. Has to hold it tight and narrow. Does so. Sasek stays on the outside lane, chooses the outside lane on volition against Adams on the inside lane. A little bit of latency for the 22. Side by side for third as well. Swatsworth and Braille still battling it out. Same with the 00 Byron Jones. Braille sends it to the inside of 1 and 2. Gives Garnet Adams some separation, some much needed separation here. A little bit further behind, you see there's Noah Hunt. Right behind Josh Susie and Riley Dunn. But everyone in the mix. Early on, Sasek looks to the inside of Garnet Adams. Really good run so far. And now the battle for the lead heats up a little bit with Susie not in the mix. It's Adams, Sasek, and Swatsworth. Swatsworth looking pretty good right now as well here in Gateway. Sasek and Adams still side by side. Adams will lead the lap. And cautions out once again. It's David Wright that was wrong way around. And I believe it was a single car spin. It was. Third one of the night. And was it single car? Maybe a little bit of contact here. What was it? for David Wright. Oh, it was just solo contact there. Noah Hunt was alongside of him, but it looked like there was still some lingering damage on the 42. And it finally gave way. It's why I think he was dropping backwards a little bit there. So now he'll come back in and get some repair work done. Right on board with him. Just kind of see what he was dealing with here on board the 42 car. Budweiser number 42. And loses it really early on the entry too. Nearly gets it going again. Easy to stall these cars. But not for David Wright. Gets it back in gear pretty quickly. Gets himself back on. So now it's Sasek at the front of the field. Some cars coming down pit lane. Noah Hunt. David Wright, you saw him come down pit lane. It looks like he's gotten his fast repair taken care of there. Got that wing changed. Looking a lot better on the racetrack now is that 42 car. Riley Dunn, the free pass recipient. Now back on the lead lap. David Smith Jr. now the only car 1 lap down. Nick Wheeler 2 laps down, hoping for a couple more cautions to make this work. Eli Sasek leads the way. A couple cars came in and topped off with fuel. Garnet Adams, one of those cars. Adams, Hunt, Wright. 3 cars that came down pit lane that time. Most of the field, though, stayed out. Adams will have fresh tires, but now will have to work through the field from the 9th spot. It's Sasek, Swatsworth, Jones, Dotson, and Brault, your top 5. Susie back up to 6th. And Adams. You see getting around Nick Wheeler there. Riding on board here with Adams. Started this race in 8th. Climbed up to the front of the field to lead some laps. Will now have to do it again. Three cautions in this race so far. Most recently for David Wright. Spinning in 3 and 4. Not collecting anyone else, but lingering from damage that he received from the first caution of the race. A lot of drivers to ride on board with Josh Susie. He's going to try his climb up the field from the 81 cars on board there. Sitting on the, will be on the outside of row number 3 on this restart. Likewise, Riley Dunn running on board the 77 right now. Sitting right now in 12th. Started this race in row number 2. Has work to do. As the field comes to 1 to green. This go around. So it's worth there sitting on the outside of row number 1. Now he gets to attack Eli Sasek and company as the field gets ready to go green once again. Coming to start lap number 30 will be the 3rd restart of the race. Eli Sasek can control the restart once again. And now some drivers have had a chance to really look and see what Eli Sasek is doing differently from Josh Susie. And Susie will be able to take some notes as well. Pace car pulls to the pit lane here. Almost showtime once again, and Sasek keeping it tight to the pit wall there. Green flag out in the air once more. Showtime. Once again at Gateway. Really close there for Byron Jones. A little bit too much curving in 1 and 2. Warming up, you can do that. At speed, you cannot. And we've seen the effects of that. 47 of Dotson battling with Braille for fourth. Byron Jones up to second. Sasek, Jones, Swatsworth top three. Dotson in fourth. Susie around Braille for top five. Braille slots right in between McCarthy and Susie. As the V8s roar around Gateway Motorsports Park. Everyone in tow. Behind McCarthy is Garnet Adams, the points leader entering tonight's race. Very marginal separation between the 2 points leaders. Got around McCarthy there. Gonna try to seal the deal in 3 and 4. Flat out here in 3 and 4. Adams doing a fantastic job there, up to 7th spot. Riding on board. Started this race in 8th, has gained 2 spots on the restart, up to 7th. Braille ahead, battling with Susie. Braille, fastest lap of the race. Little bit of a touch of that curving. We said how slick it was. We've said how slick it was throughout the broadcast so far. And Braille lost 5th place in that fight, dealing with that slipperiness. And board with Braille up to the 6th spot. See what he can do to try to get around the defending HTL Cup Series champion. To the inside, entering turns 1 and 2. You see him, hear him let off a little bit there. He knew, I think he was going to have to let off a little bit more with Seuss to his outside. But here comes Garnet Adams to the outside lane here, entering 3 and 4. Outstanding fight so far here, just to get to the top 5. Sasek leads still over Jones and Swatsworth. Noah Hunt further behind, dealing with Evan Eisenman. And Eisenman gets himself back to the front of that fight, of that group, really, but because there's David Wright and there's Riley Dunn. All of these cars on lead lap. Noah Hunt had to let off the gas there in 1 and 2, and it paid for it. A 45 car now down outside the top 10. David Wright in the top 10. Now with a mirror full of race car. Still nose to tail. Wing to gearbox. For the first 7 cars. Josh Susie, fastest first half of the lap. Going for fastest lap of the race. Stuck behind Dotson and Swatsworth here. Dotson looks to the inside, looks for 3rd. Swatsworth the outside lane, exiting turn 2. Sweet real estate. And that's going to allow Susie, teammates in the Cup Series, not so much here. Susie gets clear for 4th. And Dotson now on the back foot. That was too wide behind him. Adams, the 22 on the inside. Braille, the 74 on the outside as they go side by side for 6th. And Adams going to try to make a 2-for-1 special take place here. Trouble! Sasek, the race leader. And he gets clipped by somebody. Who did he get clipped by? Potentially the 45 of Noah Hunt. The race leader once again spins from the lead, and Sasek's car will not be able to make it back to pit lane on his own. Worst case scenario. And once again, it's the race leader that has a spin at the worst possible moment. It took him forever to get back rolling. He's going to easily lose a lap. Even not towing, he's going to lose a lap here. And he's going to lose it. Yeah, that car is completely broken at the moment. He's got to limp it around. At this point, he's trying to just not lose more than a lap here. So let's go back and look at what happened here with Eli Sasek from the front of the field. This is going to be a disaster. and play it in real time first and see what happens to him. Byron Jones isn't really close to him. He's just way too aggressive on the curbing. And that is the theme of the night. It was the theme when we last went to Gateway in the ABN Champ Car World Series. You cannot attack that curbing. These cars and their flat floors and how easy it is to disrupt the grip that these cars produce. You can't mess with that transition, because the way the curbing is, it's very much opposite of the curving of the banking of the corner. You're taking all the grip off the entire right side of the car when you do that, and it's more pronounced when it happens in turns 1 and 2 because of how sharp that corner is. And you see the damage that Sasek received from that, just trying to get it back to pit lane without losing more than a lap. And again, we'll take a look at it again. Again, he's in front of Byron Jones, and easily so. This is a risk that wasn't necessary for the race leader. And Susie made the same mistake on the opposite side of the racetrack about 20 laps ago. You see Sasek, as soon as he touches that curbing, and he leans on that curbing in 1 and 2. As soon as he leans on it, it takes the car around. It takes all the grip off the right side because it loads up the entire rear of the car. And Sasek again pays for it. And it looks like a little bit of netcode contact. That's from his teammate, Evan Eisenman. So teammate contact just to wrap it all up and really demolish the back of that car. So Sasek now 13th place after starting this race on the front row. He's going to be kicking himself on that one. And again, drivers were very well warned early on that curbing would be a disaster piece. And indeed it is, an absolute disaster piece here tonight. So Sasek will be a lap down in 13th. As the field gets ready to go back to green here. And again, it's going to be a focus on the drivers that are able to minimize these unforced errors. Susie's had an unforced error. He's been bailed out of it now. He's now back to the front of the field alongside Garnet Adams. But an unforced error for Susie, unforced error for Sasek, unforced error for David Wright. That's been the last 3 cautions of this race. Only one really massive multi-car incident, and that was the first one on lap 11. Sorry, not lap 11, lap 15. So, Susie back to the front of the field. It's the championship contenders at the front once again. They've found their way back in the right position, but with the cautions we've had so far, pretty easy for that to change yet again. Row 2 is Eisenman and David Wright. So they've cycled their way near the front of the field because they took an earlier pit stop in this race. Row 3, Riley Dunn and Byron Jones. DeMonte Dotson and Chad Swatsworth, row 4. Kyler McCarthy, Jeremy Braille in row 5. Noah Hunt and David Smeal, the last cars on the lead lap. Sasek now a lap down. Nick Wheeler still stuck 2 laps down. That's why he topped off a fuel there. He came in that last lap. 8th car, the lights are off, which means we're going green at the end of this lap to start lap 44. Again, number 1 objective should be avoid the curbing on both sides of the racetrack. Susie's got to keep that in mind, especially lest we repeat history in one race. Susie gets us going once again, racing here. Gateway, green flag is out. And immediately Adams under fire from David Wright and from Riley Dunn and Evan Eisenman. David Wright up to the 2nd spot. And Adams trying to close the door on Riley Dunn. It's not successful there. Riley Dunn stays the outside lane. And the outside lane is the sweet lane. Adams, though, closes the door out of 4. But now Eisenman has the door open for 1 and 2. Really tight fight there. Adams down to third. David Wright up to second. Cars down pit lane. It's Dotson, McCarthy, Hunt, and Braille. And they're serving a penalty. So they had to serve a penalty. I wonder if they had to serve a passing under yellow penalty. So that mixes things up there. Susie and David Wright side by side. Across our finish line. It blows Susie's lap. And David Wright, he's going to take a giant charge at the race lead here. He's going to take a swing for it once again to 3 and 4. Susie with the outside lane on 1 and 2, able to defend a little bit. David Wright trying to push Susie out of the way. Adams trying to make it work. They'll go 3 wide down the front straightaway. Oh, this is going to be bold and brave. 3 wide. Does it stick? No, it doesn't. Caution's out once again. And 3 to 1 doesn't work. Huge contact there. Adams ends up the benefactor of that. I have a giant feeling netcode's going to be a big part of this, controversially. And both Susie and Wright have had to tow back to pit lane. Let's look at the yellow flag here. And what caused all this? And this, we're immediately have to go slow motion and kind of just eyeball test this and see what happened. Adams looks like, to back it up a little bit here. Adams holds the inside lane there pretty well. David Wright tries to squeeze the inside, and Adams squeezes out a little bit of netcode, but David Wright also tries to run really low into the corner. Josh Susie, nowhere to go. He's the driver on the far outside. He knows he's sort of pinned with nowhere to go. Riding on board with him from first to the wall at about 500 meters. You see the damage there immediately. You see, we just lose the camera altogether. Same with David Wright. Right on board with him. Yeah, just tries to squeeze down a little bit. You see him cross over the rubber seam, really marking the inside lane where Adams was. Tries to keep it squeezed in tight. And pays for it big time. Adams comes down pit lane as well. So it's not all for nothing. Here's Evan Eisenman coming down pit lane now. There's Riley Dunn. Byron Jones now will inherit the race lead. I'm wondering if Evan Eisenman didn't get a penalty for passing the pace car. That may have just happened too. So Riley Dunn leaves pit lane. Sasek in 5th. Evan Eisenman leaving pit lane there in 6th. Dotson in 7th. McCarthy in 8th. A lot of cars off the lead lap at the moment. Everyone having to serve penalties. I wonder if there's actually a passing under yellow penalty that got them all serving a penalty and going a lap down. Something happened to Garnet Adams. She just towed back to pit lane. What happened to Adams? Adams had an issue here. Is Adams' race over? Susie back on track. Adams still in pit lane, I believe, is what's going on here. David Wright's race is over. He'll be classified 14th. Adams is still in pit lane. This car's still active. What has happened to her? She drops down to 13th. Susie stuck a lap down here. What is going on? This blows the doors on the championship conversation wide open. Through-eyed fight. David Wright's race is over. Susie is now pinned 2 laps down. So right now is Garnet Adams. Nick Wheeler 2 laps down as well. We have 4 cars a lap down because they had to serve a penalty on the last restart. Byron Jones, David Smil Jr., Chad Swatsworth, Evan Eisenman, and Riley Dunn, your top 5. Eli Sasek, who himself had a pretty nasty crash a little bit ago, now sits as the last car on the lead lap in 6th. This is absolutely wild, what we're seeing right now. For everyone tuning in, we appreciate you tuning in tonight, having some fun here on a Thursday night. We'll have even more next week when we get to Homestead, Miami. Byron Jones, first time leading the field to green, goes on the green. We're racing once again in Gateway. We've crossed the halfway point. And the confusion sets in. Susie stuck 2 laps down. Garnet Adams 2 laps down, leaving pit lane now. Here is the 00. Byron Jones leading the race, ahead of Swatsworth, ahead of Smil, Eisenman, Dunn, your top 5. Braille and company battling for the first car a lap down to try to get that free pass position. Right now it's in the hands of Dotson. The 47. Eisenman very slow right now. He's coming down pit lane. There's something wrong with the 44 car. He will drop off the lead lap quickly, making that battle between Dotson, Braille, and Noah Hunt even more vital. Almost as vital as this battle for the front of the field, for the race lead. Right now, Jones has it. Swatsworth looking for his first open wheel career win, putting him in very rarefied air. HTL race wins. Currently, Garnet Adams and Josh Susie. Swatsworth wants to be one of those to make history in the first season. He's got to get around Byron Jones, who was runner-up in the HTL Hammer Down Truck Series Points Championship last season. We know how good Byron Jones is. We know how good Swatsworth is. Runner-up all of the last 3 seasons in the Cup Series. Runner-up season 3 to Zach Meredith. Runner-up season 4 to Josh Susie. Runner-up season 2 to Matthew Boone. Swatsworth right now trying to join that championship conversation and has a really good gateway to do so if he can do it tonight. What a way it would flip the points upside down. Byron Jones stands in the way of that. Again, Dotson sitting 5th in line here behind Nick Wheeler, who's multiple laps down. Dotson 1 lap down. Sits as the free pass recipient if a caution comes out here. Gray out a little bit further back, taking it easy. Obviously, this is where the conversation and the fight is the tightest. Top 3, nose to tail. Jones, Swatsworth, Smil. Smil peeks to the inside of Swatsworth. Can't make anything happen there. Noah Hunt further behind Sasek. Sasek is the last car on the lead lap in 5th. Riley Dunn up ahead in 4th. Nick Wheeler 2 laps down. First car 2 laps down. Mingling it with the leaders at the moment. Trying to stay behind the leaders in case something happens with those leaders. Same strategy as Dotson. And just hoping that things work out a little bit better. Noah Hunt in the 45. Sitting a lap down as well in 8th. Kyler McCarthy sitting in the 9th spot as things currently run. Evan Eisenman now 2 laps down, having made a pit stop there after the green flag. But it's Byron Jones leading the way. And there you see Eisenman right there on your screen. Eisenman trying to break the draft, trying to stay 2 laps down. Doesn't want to lose another one. But here he goes. A lap down. David Smeal Jr. going to try to use this to go for 2nd place. Bold and brave down the back straightaway, and it's going to work, I believe, for Smeal. Unless Swadsworth can really rally out on the outside lane. No, but he's going to switch under. And this battling gives a lot of leeway to the 00 Byron Jones. Drifts with the racetrack, Swadsworth does. Smeal gives him all the space. Still side by side down the back straightaway. So Smeal up to 2nd. Behind Jones, ahead of Swadsworth. Sasek ahead of Riley Dunn. Has made an early pass pretty easy there. Dotson dealing with Nick Wheeler. Getting around the 20. And it's a little bit more urgent now for Dotson because there's Bray out the 74, that black number 74 machine right there in the mix. Good fight so far. 36 laps to go. Relatively speaking, a lot of race left. People cheering on Riley Dunn. People cheering on Jeremy Braille. Braille not far away from being in that free pass spot. If it so turns around. Swadsworth in 3rd, Smeal in 2nd. Byron Jones leads the way. They're closing in back on the race leader. David Smeal wants a chance at a race win. He's had a rough start to the season. Closes the gap from 7/10 down to less than 4. Catching's one thing, passing's another. Oh, and around goes Smeal. Around goes Smeal. Caution's out. Everyone stays clear. Smeal, the cardinal sin once again. DeMonte Dotson gets the free pass. The cardinal sin once again for David Smeal. He's going to try to get himself fired back up and going again. But the damage on the back of the car does not look good for the 27. And you see how damaged that left rear is. Let's take a look at it. Riley Dunn with an issue as well. But we'll look first at the 27. And we're going to ride on board. And we're going to slow it down and kind of show you what we mean. When you grab that curbing, it just tosses you around. That concrete, not friendly. And he turns around facing the wrong direction. And we'll see what happens here to Riley Dunn. He spins on his own. Wow. Talk about spooky. Evan Eisenman did a really good job to avoiding tagging him there. And we're watching in real time just sort of what it sounds like at speed when someone hits that curbing. in 3 and 4. Immediately just grabs that car and pulls it away. So he's on pit lane. Chad Swatsworth now the race leader. We're going to see, I think, a lot of cars taking the wave around here. Brailt's probably going to be one of them. Looks like Nick Wheeler might try to get one of those laps back as well. He's going to try to be 1 lap down here. I believe that's the same with Susie and Adams. Actually, no, Adams comes down pit lane here. Instead of trying to take that wave around, will come back down pit lane this time. Not sure what her strategy game plan is. It'll keep her level with Nick Wheeler and Josh Suit. Actually, no, keeps her a lap behind them, actually. So this really kind of dooms the strategy call there. Dotson also coming down pit lane, but he's on the lead lap now. He was the free pass recipient. A lot of cars will take that free pass, though. As we approach the final 30 laps here in Gateway. It's been a wild race so far. Still a little bit of racing left. Swatsworth, Sasek, Jones, Dunn, Dotson, Braille, top 6. As we kick things off here for another restart coming up. This wave around will put McCarthy on the lead lap, as well as Noah Hunt and Jeremy Braille. It'll put Nick Wheeler 1 lap down, as well as Josh Susie. Garnet Adams will stay 2 laps down. Free pass goes on now. And you saw the double up there between Swatsworth and Sasek. Now Byron Jones and Riley Dunn, your top 4. DeMonte Dotson will be 5th in the mix. Again, everyone, welcome to the HTL Champ Car Light Series, the feeder and the support series for the ABN Champ Car World Series. We're here from Gateway Motorsports Park in Madison, Illinois, in the shadow of St. Louis, Missouri. It's Swatsworth, Sasek, Jones, Dunn, Dotson, top 5. As we approach the restart zone, it's Swatsworth leading the way. Car 18, front of the field, goes racing once again. 29 to go. Jones got a really good jump there on Sasek, trying to get back to the front of the field, trying to get back to the lead of this race. Here comes Riley Dunn as well, looking for 3rd. Really good fight in the mix. But again, keep an eye on the aggressiveness. Garnet Adams almost bit it. And they had a huge crash behind Susie, and it looks like that might be McCarthy. It is McCarthy and Susie. And a very unpleasant crash out of 4. And you can tell the anticipation getting higher and higher and higher. Is this on McCarthy or is this on Susie? Susie and McCarthy. McCarthy up ahead. I have a feeling this is McCarthy just really overdriving it into 3 and 4. Does he clip the curbing, though, is I guess the magical question to all of this. And the answer to that is yes, on the exit of 4. The same mistake Susie made, the same mistake that Sasek made. as well as David Wright. David Smith Jr. is the same mistake McCarthy makes here. Teammates as well, McCarthy and Susie. Yeah, his car is completely junked here. So caution out once again in very quick succession. The Swatsworth leads the way. After 74 laps, this is what the top 5 looks like. Swatsworth, Jones, Sasek, Dunn, and Dotson. Honda leads a Chevrolet, a pair of Toyotas, and a Ford in that top 5. Everyone in this race is now either 1 lap down, or now he's either on the lead lap or 2 laps down, excuse me. Susie's race is game over. I believe same with Kyler McCarthy, but it's Garnet Adams, the last car running in this race. Nick Wheeler comes down pit lane here. He is back on the lead lap. He got a lap back on that wave around. Caution bails him out, puts him back on the lead lap there for Arrowhead Racing. Arrowhead Racing has the 18 and the 20 racing on track at the moment. And now both those cars on the lead lap. Byron Jones, Eli Sasek, Riley Dunn, DeMonte Dotson. Jeremy Brayout now sitting in the 6th spot, Noah Hunt in 7th. As the racing goes back into full song here momentarily. Lights still on the pace car, which means we have 1 more lap of caution coming up. And then it's Jones behind Swatsworth here. It's going to be a very interesting restart to see how this all plays out. Garnet Adams 2 laps down, battling now with Evan Eisenman for those free pass spots. This is going to be, I think, a pretty aggressive restart. The last couple, I think, you can argue, has been pretty aggressive. And again, magic message. Don't touch the curbs. They've been biting him all night. A lot of people cheering for Riley Dunn. People cheering for Dotson as well. People cheering for Braille. Lots of people cheering on drivers throughout this field. We're in the last 25 laps here in Gateway. And what a chaotic race it's been. Swatsworth has the ability to do something very, very cool here tonight. So does Byron Jones. So does Riley Dunn and DeMonte Dotson. So does Eli Sasek. Green flag out and away we go. 8 cars on lead lap. Adams the first car off the lead lap at the moment. As we get back to racing at full song, they approach turn 3. It's Swatsworth, Jones, Riley Dunn up to 3rd. Then there's the battle for fourth. Here comes Byron Jones peeking to the inside. He'll take the inside line from Swatsworth. Swatsworth smartly defends the outside lane. Try and hold on to that race lead. Gives Byron Jones extra space though. Means that Swatsworth won't be able to stay clear in a 3 and 4. Jones gets to the front of the field, leads at the moment to start lap number 80. Here comes Riley Dunn, looking for his first race win in HTL competition. Garnet Adams mixing it up, going for broke here. She has to be. Jimmy Braille's gone up to third place as well. Swatsworth sitting in second. Braille winless in his open wheel career in the ABN Champ Car World Series. First start in the HTL Champ Car Light Series. The Stocker accolades, though, very impressive. Especially on the ARC side of things. Former Ace Car Cup Series champion, two-time ARC Daytona 500 winner. He's got quite a lot of crown jewels on that crown of his. Swatsworth in the middle between Braille and Jones. Adams in fourth, hoping something breaks and gives her a chance to not only get a lap back on the road, but a caution comes out and gets her back on lead lap with that free pass. Because right now there's no contest between Adams and Eisenman. Absolutely none. This is a contest between Adams and the clock. Adams looks to the inside. Again, has to race her way forward. Has to apply pressure here the hard way. Here comes Riley Dunn. Inside, 3 wide. Bray out to the outside. And Riley Dunn does the smart thing that wasn't done on the first attempt when they went 3 wide. Riley Dunn backed out of it. And here comes Sasek. Sasek looks for third, trying to get around the lap car of Adams as well. We're approaching the final 15 laps of this race. Here comes Swatsworth, trying to deal with both the inside and the outside lane. Braille on the outside, Sasek on the inside lane, battling for third. There's Dotson in the mix as well. He's in fifth. Again, the struggle right now is real. Byron Jones in clean air. Adams once again looks to the inside, 3 wide. You don't want to cause another accident as the lap car in this sandwich. And she does! Oh no. As a car 2 laps down, that's not something you can do. That's not something. Braille stuck upside down. That's not wise. And because of that, Evan Eisenman will now be on the lead, will now be 1 lap down. We'll get the free pass out of that. And you see what's left of Garnet Adams' car. Sasek, obviously, his race is over effectively. Same with Jimmy Braille. Nick Wheeler also in pit lane. one would have to hazard a guess that there's probably going to be a pretty hefty penalty for that one coming in. And now the 22 car comes down pit lane. Here comes Byron Jones around. And we will have a green flag restart with about 10 laps to go. Top 5, all right there. Jones, Swatsworth, Dunn, Dotson, and Hunt. Swatsworth in second, Riley Dunn in third. DeMonte Dotson in fourth. Noah Hunt top 5. That's how they run. Evan Eisenman now 1 lap down in sixth. Adams there in seventh. Not sure what's going on there. Nick Wheeler rolling back on the racetrack as well. Once again, 2 laps down too. It's the fight that never ends for Nick Wheeler. It will double up here. Byron Jones and Chad Swatsworth, who have dominated the better part of the later stage of this race. They will duke it out with Riley Dunn and DeMonte Dotson. Noah Hunt top 5. Evan Eisenman in 6th. 1 lap down. Garnet Adams in 7th. 2 laps down. Same with Nick Wheeler, who is also 2 laps down at the moment. And Wheeler coming back down pit lane. Maybe calling it a night. Let's see if he does. Meanwhile, they go to the front of the field. It's Jones and Swatsworth. After a wild turn of events here tonight so far, we're going to have 10 laps to determine it all. No green-white checkers, no overtime attempts. If a caution comes out with less than 5 laps to go, the race is over. Green flag out in the air, and away we go once again. And it's just now that Garnet does the correct thing and lets the lead lap cars go through. Coming to 9 laps to go. To 8 laps to go here. Laps ticking away once again. It's Jones and Swatsworth. Swatsworth staying right there in touch. Meanwhile, Dotson has to deal with Riley Dunn as they duke it out. There comes Noah Hunt for 5th. Dotson with a little bit of breathing space as Hunt goes after Riley Dunn. Still duking it out here. as the laps tick away. Not a ton of time left to go. If you're going to make a move, you're going to make it quickly. Dotson has the most amount of ground to make up if he wants to try to win a race here in Gateway. Goes to the outside in turn for turns 1 and 2. Almost contact. It may have actually been contact between Dotson and Swatsworth. Swatsworth stays to the inside lane there. And now Byron Jones tries to break the slipstream, trying to play both lanes. Trouble further behind. Evan Eisenman. And trouble. Garnet Adams wrong side around as well. And this may do the race. What happened here? Eisenman up in the wall. That feels like a clumsy error. Eisenman, obviously, he drives up wide and tags the wall. On board with Adams. Just doesn't lift. At all. Not the best night for the driver entering the points lead here tonight. Gonna hazard a guess and say that won't be the case going to Miami. Wheeler will get a lap back out of that. He'll go 4 laps down at this point. With 4 laps to go. We actually may have a lap or 2 of green flag running, which will make this restart pivotal if you're DeMonte Dotson and Shad Swatsworth. Here we go. Still under caution here. 3 laps to go. If we're gonna get any laps at all, it's gonna be a 1-lap shootout at the end of this race. This is gonna be a very interesting situation to be in. Jones, Dotson, Swatsworth lead the way over Noah Hunt and Riley Dunn. Byron Jones leads the way and might have 1 lap of a restart to try to make something happen. We'll see here as it comes across the start-finish line, approaching 2 laps to go in this race. See Evan Eisenman still running there in the back, wounded car and all. And we are going to have that 1-lap restart. It's going to be 1 lap to green. think Eisenman's going to come to a stop here. Not much of a point with the car as wounded as that 44 car is. You've secured yourself. You're going to have about as much of a chance as you can get in this circumstance. One lap to go. We have got one lap to pay dirt here in Gateway. 5 cars on the lead lap, all of them together. This is going to be an interesting restart. That is to say the least. Point of no return is here. Byron Jones controls the restart over to Monte Dotson, Shad Swatsworth, and Noah Hunt. Green flag in the air. Away we go. And what a rocket ship restart he got. This is going to be a fight for second place. Jones is gone. Dotson, Swatsworth still side by side, entering turn 3. Here we go. How's the podium going to shape up here? Swatsworth on the inside. Noah Hunt going to try to go for it. It'll be Dotson for second. Swatsworth stays third. But Byron Jones grabs your race win. Byron Jones, a winner in Gateway over Swatsworth, who finished third. DeMonte Dotson finishing second. What a wild race that was. Fireworks going up down the back straightaway. Byron Jones gets to celebrate a race win in the Champ Car Light Series, the 00 car. Victorious in St. Louis. Well earned for Byron Jones. Race winner here tonight. Outstanding work for Dotson and Swatsworth as well. They did an outstanding job there. And Jones will throw the nose into the wall. Why not? Everyone else has tonight. He gets to celebrate on the front straightaway. Fantastic job across the board here tonight for Byron Jones. Most laps led for Byron Jones as well. 42 laps led tonight. Did an outstanding job. Again, an outstanding job for Byron Jones, who wins tonight's race here in Gateway. An insane turn of events here tonight. See if we can talk to our podium finishers here tonight. We will get a chance to interview at least our very least our race winner, Byron Jones, who had a fantastic race. 42 laps led tonight en route to a race win. A fantastic effort all around here tonight. Byron, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I do. What's going on?
A fantastic job here tonight for you. Obviously, a wild race. Had to survive a one-lap restart there at the end, but a dominant car throughout. 42 laps led, and now up to the top 5 in the points.
Yeah, this felt really, really good after the first 2 races that I had. They didn't go as planned. Michigan getting wrecked out early, and then as well as Charlotte, I was struggling just a little bit. But tonight, it feels good. I know I'm under some controversy after what happened, but I felt like we definitely had one of the cars to win tonight no matter what. We were up there competing throughout the entire night, and it just so happened to work in our favor, and we were able to walk away with this one, and I'm just proud of just all of it right now. I threw on the Danica Patrick scheme because I kept getting wrecked, and it turns out it actually helped me tonight.
It was a very, obviously, topsy-turvy race. It was a very tight-knit race as far as the pace everyone had tonight. Obviously, the race win shows, obviously, as you mentioned, the 00 car has that pace. Does that sort of bode well for you as far as going through the season? Obviously, jumped up right to the top 5 in points there. Homestead, Miami coming up next week, and then Phoenix after that. Those seem like races that 00 car may have a bit of a punch to. Is that something that you feel is probably accurate?
Yeah, if anyone has seen me at short tracks, it's my style. It's in the HTL Cup Series, Truck Series, over here in the Champ cars. Seems like short tracks is my style of racing, so I'm definitely excited for Phoenix, Homestead. We're gonna have to do a lot of practicing to figure out what we can do and how to make this car fast. But who knows? Anything can happen, right?
Absolutely. I think that is, especially after tonight, I think a lot of things are possible. Just about everyone ate the snack bar at some point. But that 00 car looks fantastic in victory lane. A phenomenal job here in Gateway with, again, Homestead coming up in a week's time. Before I let you go, obviously let you celebrate the race win, but also get ready for Homestead, which is going to be an even different race compared to what we've seen so far this season. If there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. A fantastic job tonight.
Yeah, thank you. First off, shout out to Pete out there. He was my spotter throughout the entire race, talked me through this thing to help me win this one. So big shout out to Pete being able to do and take his time out of his day to come here and help me out and claim a victory with him is awesome. We've been trying to do that for so long, and we were finally able to do it tonight. And then as well as shout out 213 Simware shirt company. Go check them out online, 213simware.com, as well as Jones Paint and Designs. Come check us out on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you may find your social media platforms. Just look up Jones P&D, and you'll find us on there. And of course, you, Carmen. Thank you for putting this on every week, allowing us to go back and rewatch all these streams and these amazing races we have.
I appreciate it, Byron. Enjoy the race win tonight, up to 5th place in the points here from Gateway with Homestead coming up here. Byron, enjoy the race win, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was Byron Jones, the race winner here tonight. A fantastic job from Gateway. Byron Jones, the race winner over DeMonte Dotson and Shad Swatsworth. And outstanding work all together here. Let's go over the full results here tonight from Gateway Motorsports Park as we get everything set up here. Results front and center on your screen. Byron Jones, DeMonte Dotson, Shad Swatsworth, your podium here tonight. Noah Hunt, Riley Dunn, top 5. Ahead of Evan Eisenman, Nick Wheeler, Garnet Adams, Eli Sasek, Jeremy Braille, Kyler McCarthy, Josh Susi, your top 12. Let's go ahead and go down the rest of the field. Not many cars to go after here. David Smith Jr., David Wright, 13th and 14th. Blake Henderson, technically classified as 15th, although he did not start tonight's race here in Gateway. Going to be a lot of fun. We're going to keep the racing going here on ABN. No racing tomorrow, but we do have racing on Saturday. It's the ARCS High Octane Series from Dover. Saturday, 8 p.m. right here on ABN Studios. We'll also be live Sunday right here on ABN Studios at 7 p.m. for the ARCS A² Cup Series. On behalf of everyone here for ABN Studios, for HTL, the Champ Car Light Series, and all of its partners, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. It's been a blast. We'll see you again for this series next Thursday at Homestead Miami Speedway. Until next time, so long, everybody.